Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another Around the Town of Branford with Henry and Frank. I'm Frank Toohill, standing right here in front of the new, remodeled, reopened, rebuilt Indian Neck Company 9 Branford Fire Department. It's a great facility, and we're going to take you on a tour inside. This is an open house down here today in Indian Neck, and also we'll be talking with Fire Chief Thomas Mahoney Jr. in just a few minutes. He's going to be taking us on a tour. This facility now, the Indian Neck Company 9, is staffed 24/7 by career responders, both fire and the medical personnel. There is a ambulance stationed here full-time, as well as engine company truck number 9, which is right behind me. And so there's people here. It's staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so we'll be talking with Chief Mahoney about how this is working out down here, how many calls it has. And it's going to be a great tour. Upstairs is going to be great to see. That's where the men sleep. That's where the women sleep. And it's going to be a great program. So stay with us right now. I'll be speaking with Branford Fire Chief Thomas Mahoney Jr. Stay with us. Okay, I'm with Chief Thomas Mahoney of the Branford Fire Department. You've been chief now for how long have you been chief?
Just completed 10 years this past August.
Oh, congratulations. I mean, the last 10 years have been big step after big step here for the Branford Fire Department, and this is a big one too.
This was a big one for us. Originally intended to support the volunteers here in Indian Neck and Pine Orchard, and unfortunately the volunteers have declined over the years, and we are always looking for new volunteers. However, it just got to the point where our call volume was so much. We hit 7,000 calls last year, which is another record for us, primarily EMS related. But, response times are important, and it didn't make sense to keep our eggs in one basket at headquarters. So when we saw the decline in the volunteers and this station, really, nobody was really responding from it. They all have jobs, right?
Yeah.
So we gained the support of the town. They built this station, and then as the volunteers declined, we went into the second part of our requests. There was to do a staffing and deployment plan. As you're well aware, that was published and supported. We hired 16 EMS only personnel, which then allowed us to not only staff a second engine down here with the existing career firefighters, but also move an ambulance down here. And it solved several problems. One, we're able to have the extra staff to meet some of the increased call volume, right? The other thing was the response times. We aim for a 4-minute response time because it's very important whether you're having a medical emergency such as a cardiac arrest, a stroke, or a heart attack, or and a myriad of other medical problems. Time means everything.
Yeah.
And then same thing with the fire. So within 2 weeks of opening this, we had the fire down at the Tynelands condo. We were able to contain it to the room that it was in. Had we waited just a few more minutes, it may have been even on either side. So that was win number one for us. And most recently, we had a cardiac arrest called in that occurred on the 4th of July. It was post-drowning, and her family stopped by this morning, actually, sent us a video of her. They met the crew that was successfully saved her life. That would not have been possible if we had to wait the additional time from headquarters. So it really, the impact to the community is immediate. We appreciate it, but we're grateful. We're here. We're looking obviously to expand out east as well as the second phase of the plan for those same reasons: call volume, the increased response time. It is our longest response time out there, and we hope to make more of a positive impact. But today's reason for doing this was to not only introduce us formally to the community, but also to kind of let people know that the tax dollars and the investment that they spent on this project, whether it's the station, the staffing, and obviously the other equipment and vehicles that you provide for us to do our jobs, has made an immediate impact here. And,
no, so Chief, right. That's important to talk about the money, the grants, and everything. So, from what I understand, right now, this great brand new facility was built. I don't know what about. In 2020, I believe that was the ribbon cutting, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
So what happened was back in 2016, right? There was a grant from the Small Town Economic Assistance Program, $500,000, right? And of course, at that time, our state representatives were State Senator Ted Kennedy Jr., State Reps Lonnie Reed and Sean Scanlon, and of course our First Selectman, Jamie Cosgrove. Now, this was an old station before it was torn down and rebuilt, right, as this beautiful place. And so for years, I guess, the town of Branford, they basically zeroed in on this old facility down here. They said, no, it's almost 100 years old. It's got to be brought up to code and brought up to, I believe there was only one garage bay at the time.
Right, one bay. Yeah.
Only one bay, and the one existing bay that was here was very small. You couldn't put the engines of today in the bay, right?
Right. This engine that's currently here, it fit, but it barely fit. There was no room to work around it, and the place reeked of diesel. It didn't have the modern diesel exhaust or filtration systems. But yeah, it supported the community. Originally built by the volunteers that got together and said, hey, we want to create a volunteer fire department here in the Indian Neck area.
Wow.
And they raised funds, they built the station themselves, and it served the community for, like you said, almost 100 years. Part of what we're doing today too, and you'll notice when we do a tour later, is the celebrating the history of the volunteers who started here, the service that they provided, and among them, the longest serving captain in the history of the Branford Fire Department was Michael Mooner Mullen. So we want to mention all of their service.
He was here for 30 years. Was it 30 years, Chief?
I think he was there for much longer than that, but he was the captain for that long. It was a long time. He was captain when I started here, and I've been here for 30 years.
But you know what, too, right? I mean, that was such a great Branford family as far as firefighters, right? You had Peter Mullen
was chief of department,
and this particular station is actually named for Peter Mullen. He was the chief for 10 years from 84 to 94.
Just prior to 94, I believe. Yeah.
So there were three altogether. There was him. There was
Deputy Chief Ron Mullen, who was started here as a volunteer and became a career firefighter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then,
and then Michael.
Yeah. So that's a great Branford firefighting family.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of family, a lot of traditions.
Yes.
As they say that it was the Tool Drive gang up there, and Field Place, Tool Drive, they used to battle back and forth, but when the buzzer went off or the bell went off, they responded, and it was a great effort. So, but a lot of history, a lot of tradition. We're trying to honor that and carry it on. It's just change, and sometimes change can be a little bit difficult, but I think in this case it's very positive change, not only for the community, but for the department as a whole.
No, it's true. It's great. So, I mean, you spoke before about how, down here, this particular station house serves both Pine Orchard and Indian Neck. And so you talked about how, because this is manned now, it's been manned since January, that, you've really cut down the response time, which, as you said, is very important. It's very key. It can mean, life or death.
Yep. Yeah, so, you have 4 to 6 minutes to survive when you lose oxygen to your brain. So whether you're in a smoky environment in a home or you have a medical emergency, time is everything. And the longer the time goes, the less likely we are to help. So response time matters. We're happy that we're able to cover a much larger, right now we're covering about 2/3 of the built up, most populated areas of town with that 4-minute response between headquarters and down here. And as our display shows down here, it's the goal is to extend that out on the eastern side of town. But it's definitely makes a difference. As I mentioned earlier, the 4th of July when we had that most recent, and that's just one of many, but that's probably the more dramatic one, where essentially that person would not be with us today if it wasn't for that. And that's what this is all about. It's about getting to people quickly, providing the help, whatever that help is. We're the department they call when they don't know who else to call, right?
That's true. So the east end of town, you're talking about a third fire station. Which part of town is that? Do you have any place in mind?
Excuse me. Yeah. So we had originally identified property. It was town-owned property that used to be on Acorn.
Road, right.
So it was an industrial property that had been condemned and cleaned up. And I had wondered what happened to that, property, because I knew, we're always looking. And one of the things that we try not to do is take, taxable Route 1 property, or somewhere like that. We have a station in Stony Creek. It's still of all volunteer. They're a great group of people. Again, a smaller group of people than historically we've had, and their ability to live and work in the community, that just doesn't happen anymore. And even if they do, they're not often able to leave work like we used to, and certainly not to the degree of the amount of time that they would have to leave work. So. But that station's a little too deep into Stony Creek, so we're trying to be a little bit more up towards the exit 56 area, whether it's Acorn, which we've identified as a viable location, or some combination of a project with Public Works. We're looking at all of those types of things. But from that station location, we can cover the other third of the town of that most built up area. And it also allows us some quick routes to other areas of town, whether it be I-95, Route 1, the back way up to Flax Mill and Northford Road, through Thompson Road, that kind of thing.
So if that third station was established up there in the eastern end of town by Stony Creek, like you said, that would also cut the response time up there, right?
It would, and we've in our deployment plan, you'll see the color coding of the 4-minute response, how far that extends. So from that location, we could get well past Walsh Intermediate School. We could get all the way into Stony Creek, and certainly other parts along the Route 1, where right now it's being responded from headquarters.
I see.
We have that whole residential area in between that, again, if you're having a medical or you have a fire, unfortunately, time is everything. So it'll address those.
Okay, that's great, Chief. Okay, so at this point, we're just about to take the tour. We're going to go inside. You're going to see this beautiful new facility. But just before we start that, Chief, so now, right, this particular station house, is, it's really two districts, Pine Orchard and Indian Neck. So my question is, but it's not just on land that you operate out of here, right? You also do the water, right?
That's correct. So the Branford Fire Department has 2 fireboats, the smallest of which is 28-foot beam. Both of them are capable of both water rescue and firefighting. So they have fire pumps on them capable of flowing over 1,000 gallons per minute. We have the unique feature of the Thimble Islands, but we also have 10 marinas, 22 miles of coastline with the ins and outs, and so that's a big part of what we do here in Branford, right? So what we did is we moved the boat, which was one of the boats that's in the Branford River from Goodsell Point to the main yard over here, right off Block Island Road.
Oh, really?
And this station's responsible for responding to that boat and handling medicals. We simultaneously dispatch both boats because, again, we don't always know what we're going. We can always cancel, but Stony Creek primarily takes care of the Thimble Archipelago and that area, and this boat's probably going to be the first responder over here, but we work together as a team. And anything bigger than that, we call mutual aid from our neighbors in Guilford and East Haven and beyond if we need. So, but definitely a big part of what we do.
No, Chief, I mean, it's great to have have one station right nearby on Block Island Road. That's great.
It is, and we're certainly appreciative to the marina for allowing us to keep the boat there.
That's good.
They don't charge the town for that.
That's
because
big.
we're there to provide fire protection for their.
For them too.
There's a lot of property value sitting in the water.
A lot. Oh yeah, no.
And as you know, boat fires can spread and become very intense quickly.
But they're so close together. They have the fuel on board and everything, and I mean, they're also very expensive to buy boats today.
Very expensive. Yeah.
Okay, Chief. So anyway, we're just about to start the tour. One last question. So now, who is stationed here 24 hours a day?
Okay, so we have a total of 5 personnel that run out of the station. There's 3 on the engine. So the fire engine is capable of both fighting fire, but also providing medical care. Because don't forget, ambulances transport people out of town, and we still need to provide that first responder. So one of the things that I started to mention earlier, it was the problems that were addressed. Response time was one, but also with the additional staffing and the model that we went into, we have that same capability that would be provided to somebody on an ambulance in a medical emergency. We bring the emergency room to your doorstep right on the fire engine as well. So if the ambulance is on another medical, which they are frequently, you now have that additional resource to come, start care, and then maybe another ambulance from uptown or mutual aid will come in. So that's another big key thing. So 3 people on the engine and then a 2-person ambulance, which could either be a basic crew or a paramedic crew, depending on the availability of staffing.
Yeah.
One of the nice things that happened when we were funded, we initially intended to fund basic EMTs and take the paramedics from the engines, but so many of our part-time paramedics found the job attractive instead of working a commercial service in New Haven or somewhere like that where pay is not good, you're sitting in a street corner in an ambulance. This is a much more attractive schedule. Obviously you have a station and a home, and the crews have integrated tremendously together. The service that they provide is second to none.
Unparalleled.
Yeah, and we're very pleased. So 5 people total, 1 ambulance, 1 engine. We hope to duplicate that eventually out on the east side of town.
Yeah. Now, I believe, Chief, right? All the career responders, they're all on that same schedule, which is what they work for 24 hours a day for, what is it, 3 days in a row?
No, just a single day and then 3 days off.
Oh,
so
I see.
they work, it's essentially a 42-hour work week.
Yeah.
24 on, 72 off, and then repeats over. So you'll but we have 4 shifts so that we can cover that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Well, that's
and
great.
and as you know, when for us to put another unit on the street, even if it was a 2-person, that's 8 people we would have to hire to cover that, all 4 shifts.
Yeah.
So that's why when we come to the RTM for funding, it's not, we don't go there, we go there with the understanding that it's a big ask.
Yeah.
But we are extremely pleased with the response from the community.
Oh, I know. Well, and also I'm sure that with the lower response time, right, all the members of the community are pleased with the fire department.
We've had great feedback from the community.
Yeah.
They noticed immediately, the people that live here, and they started seeing a lot of activity here. They started noticing. And one of the things I think that I learned very quickly when I became chief, that was 10 years ago, was that
that's a long time.
the community as a whole, whether it be in Indian Neck or Pine Orchard or any other district in Branford, just didn't understand how busy we really are. Certainly medical are the larger driver of what we do, but we don't hear about a lot of big fires because we try to get there quickly and put it out when it's small.
Yeah.
And so that's due to our ability to get there quickly.
Yeah.
And so, it was noticed right away, and the impact's been huge, and I think it's been well worth the investment.
Oh, absolutely. Now, as far as the investment, right, so the RTM and the Board of Finance, they both appropriate, was it $1.5 million?
Yeah, it was a little bit more than that, but we actually were able to look at the overall need once we actually hired the people, looked at the benefit costs and all that, reduced that ask just a little bit. So we'll be giving back a significant portion of our surplus this year, and then we adjusted next year's budget for that. So we do try to use these funds very responsibly.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, just out of curiosity, I forget, was there any ARPA funds used on this?
Not on this. ARPA, the benefit we had from the ARPA money was we funded one full ambulance from ARPA.
Oh, that's right, right. No,
And
it worked
it
out great.
actually just came in.
It did?
It took 3 years to get here, but
No,
it just came in.
but that's the lead time now for everything,
Yeah,
right, Chief?
It's crazy, and that's another thing we had recently done the bonding plan
Yeah.
because we're up against that time frame, as well as the fact that a lot of our apparatus was purchased in the mid to late 90s, early 2000.
Yeah.
This is a 2001, or I'm sorry, this is a 1999. So it's being built right now, but we won't see this probably for another year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing's become very tricky process. But I mean, you talk about the age of the fleet, and I mean, you take good care of the vehicles. That's why they last so long.
Yes. So our two oldest engines right now are engine 2 and 4, which were 1998s. They are 28 years old, right? And so they have definitely served the town well. Yeah. They're in phenomenal condition. They relatively low mileage because fire trucks don't run a lot, right? Yeah. But technology changes so greatly over, that period of time. Yeah. Various safety features. The recommended lifespan for a frontline fire pumper is between 15 and 20 years, and then it becomes a spare. They really say no more than 25, and we have some frontline pieces running for 28 years or more. So definitely try to get our money's worth out of them.
Oh, no, I'm sure you do. I mean, right? What's the expression? The proof's in the pudding. I mean,
Yeah. Well, and for sure. So we are good stewards of the equipment that they give us, and we're happy and try to show that appreciation by taking care of it.
Yeah. Okay, well, Chief, thanks a lot for answering all those questions and all that great information you've given us today. And it's great to be here. It's a wonderful facility. And so right now, Chief Mahoney's going to take us inside, take us upstairs, show us the 2 bays, all the great things here at the Station House number 9, which is basically for Pine Orchard and also for Indian Neck. There's a lot of people here now. They're coming to the open house today. This will be open till 1 o'clock, and I do see the chairman of the Branford Fire Commission.
Yeah, with his grandson Hayden.
Perhaps he'll come over to it and talk to us for a second.
I'm sure he'll be happy to say a few words.
Yeah. So here he comes. He's been chairman for how long?
Hey, Hayden.
Hey, Bob. How you doing, Bob?
How you doing? Doing good. You're the chief of pound. So hey, Frank.
Hello, Hayden. How you doing?
Yeah, good.
Okay. So anyway, this is the chairman of the Branford Fire Commission. You've been chairman for how long, Bob?
1999.
So you've been chairman for 26 years now, and now your father was involved before you, right?
Yes, my father joined in 1952. So he rose up to be assistant chief in town.
Wow, that's great. I mean, I talked to Chief Mahoney before about the great family in Branford, the fire department, the Mullins.
Oh, yeah.
But the other great Branford fire family in town, right, is the Masseys.
We actually they lived on Toll Drive, the Mullins did, and we were on Field Place. We were street over from each other. So it was pretty funny. It was ironic because the Mullinses were all members here at this station, and we were all members at headquarters, Ladder Company 1 at the time. That was a volunteer company then. Wow. I was originally supposed to join here, but they kind of pushed me back up to go to headquarters, so it was kind of ironic. So we used to pass each other in the cars going to get the fire trucks, because we would go to headquarters and they would come down here. And then we all met up somewhere. But my father and Chief Mullins both were deputy chiefs together, and they both worked side by side in the training division and everything. So they were great friends. Wow. Yeah.
So anyway, since you've been the chairman of the Branford Fire Commission since 1999, this whole thing, you've been involved with this from start to finish,
Yeah,
right?
we started that back probably, I think my dad started it back in 1996, wanting to add on the station and do something here, even including headquarters. So it's been in the workings for a long time. But yeah, this is the greatest asset we ever had is this station right here.
I mean, you must be so proud of the way it came out.
Well, we have, absolutely, we really are. And then, Chief Mahoney and both chiefs are real good. I mean, we got a great team. The whole fire department is.
So now this opened in 2020.
Yes.
Right. That
January
was the
6th.
ribbon cutting,
Yep.
and then this. I believe it was last winter.
It was
right?
last December.
It became staffed,
Yeah.
fully staffed,
Yep.
24/7.
Yep.
So, I mean, what's the biggest improvement since it's been staffed?
Response times. We're able to get,
yeah.
this engine can get basically in this area within 4 minutes, and that's really what our goal is. As the chief probably told you, 4 to 6 minutes we like to get, to a scene.
Yeah.
And right now, this truck is the first one in going into Stony Creek, because if we have to go to Stony Creek headquarters, it's between 12 to 15 minutes to get there, and here it's between 9 to 12 minutes to get there, depending on the traffic and as a road construction. So you can see the distance. That's why we're looking to create another fire station out east, Station 3.
Yeah.
So we can have a response time in that area of 4 minutes.
Yeah,
So-
that's what the chief talked about
Yeah.
before.
Yep. So.
Also, I just wanted to say that this guy, he's really into the whole fire department. In fact, you keep the radio scanner on 24/7, right?
It's on 24/7. Yeah, it is. Yeah. No.
So also there was one story, not a story, but there was one thing you told me about some terrible thing that happened here July 4th.
Oh yes.
What happened?
We had a drowning victim down in Paulson Park, and this crew actually, I think some of the members are here. Were on that team. They got there and were able to revive the, with the help of.
They revived.
Yes, they revived the drowning.
She was dead.
Well, she was in bad shape. Her husband did start CPR on her, but they were able to get there and quickly with the medical gear we have on these trucks, we're able to revive her. And right now she's at another rehab center, so she's progressively getting better and better.
So I mean, if this station wasn't here, theoretically, what would have happened?
Well, we would have looked at a response time from headquarters of about 8 to 9 minutes, given the location of where it was in Paulson Park. And that's a big difference when you're talking. It's just like with a fire. It's just like with your heart. If your heart stops, we want to get it pumping again.
Yeah.
And just with a fire, we want to take a little fire and we don't want it to grow into a big fire. So, same thing.
That's good.
So,
Well, thanks a lot for speaking with us.
Thank
and
you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry, for
Thank
you guys
you.
do for Branford. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's the Branford the Fire Commission Chairman since 1999, Bobby Massey Jr. Okay, so now let's take the tour of Station 9 down here in Indian Neck on Open House Day. Stay with us. Okay, we're back now with Branford Fire Chief for 10 years now, Thomas Mahoney, and we're standing right at the door to the beautiful Firehouse down in Indian Neck. It's the Open House Day, and there's a lot of people here, and it's just a great facility. So, Chief, would you please give us the tour? So we're standing outside. What's this beautiful plaque up about?
So this was the dedication plaque, and it's dedicated in memory of Peter F. Mullen, who was our fire chief from '84 to '94, and obviously lists the building committee and our selectmen, fire commission, et cetera, the architects. The building was designed to try to blend in as much as possible with the community. I think we did a pretty good job. You notice that the field stone, which was actually installed by Commissioner Riccio, who has the business, his group did a fine job. But this fieldstone look is in most of the older buildings throughout this community.
That's a veneer? Is that a veneer?
It is a veneer,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's actual real stone.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and he did a great job. So the barn behind us is all
Yeah, I see it's a
the
matches.
natural. Yeah,
He's
so.
been a commissioner too for 30
Many,
years.
many years,
30
yes.
years, I think.
Yeah.
No, but it's great, Chief. If you look up at the building, like you got the beautiful fieldstone, as you mentioned. Then up above, right, the wood planking, and then way up on the second floor, the beautiful gray shingles. The architect did a really nice job.
I think he did an admirable job, although the cupola is a little bit smaller than we had hoped.
There's a cupola up there?
There is a cupola, but you can't see it because it's so small.
Oh.
We were hoping for a bigger one.
Oh. Well, you get that on Station
That's
3.
an inside joke with some of our
Yeah.
our commissioners and our neighborhood supporters we're not happy about, but just the same, it is what it is. So we'll deal with it.
Okay.
Small details, Frank.
Yeah.
All right, so if you, this is the main public entrance to the building.
Oh, yeah.
And then this building does not have a fire pole, unfortunately. We were limited on space, and so we had to kind of fit what we could fit here on the property. But the public can enter here. The stairs go up to the second floor, and then we're going to go right into the apparatus bay.
Okay.
The apparatus bay holds 2 pieces of apparatus, as we talked about earlier. Typically, there would be an ambulance in this first bay. And then the larger bay behind us would house the engine. So those 2 apparatus are stationed here, but we also have many other functions here that they do on a daily basis. We have maintenance that we have to do. We have our gear storage is here. They've made a makeshift workout area here, which is the town and the union collaborates to buy this fantastic equipment. But part of our job is to stay in shape.
Yeah, you gotta
and
stay in
so
shape,
that's here. But everything, because we're technically in the flood zone, and it was built to be, to withstand that, with the flood ports in the floor and that kind of thing. Everything has to be removable and above the flood zone. So that's how everything's been designed here. And so we have contingency plans for those events where what happens, as you know, is that Boston Park area, which historically known as Boston Park, can be isolated during
like an island during the storms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we end up splitting and being able to cover them and also the other side. So we have contingency plans. It's not an ideal situation, but one of the things that the town and the fire department's always done is we work with what we have, and we provide the best service.
But Chief, right? I mean, so the big advantage here, of course, is the response time. But the other thing is, right, in storms, hurricanes, floods, and stuff. I mean, sometimes Indian Neck gets cut off from the mainland because of the high water, right? You got that brook right there.
Yep, Sybil Creek comes through here, and then with it comes the tide.
Yeah. So my point is, that's another good reason to have this staff, 24/7, in case there's a storm, because you got the vehicles already out here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
okay, that's good, Chief. Okay. That's
so just a quick run around, Henry. If you want to follow us this way. We obviously have laundering facilities for our uniforms.
That's important.
Part of, we could get splattered with biohazardous materials, whether it be blood or other body fluids. So we have that here, as well as our gear storage. We have a bathroom located on the floor, and then a storage closet. And that's really it here on the first floor. It's not a very big space, but it's adequate for what we do down here, and we're happy.
Well, and also, too, it's an improvement over what you had,
Oh, 100% improvement over what we have. So we're awaiting word on a federal grant. We're hoping to, even though we have diesel filtration here, it doesn't capture at the source point. So there's always, this is still a dirty diesel engine that runs out of here for now. But we do have, we're hopeful that we'll be getting a federal grant. Fingers are crossed, no guarantees. But if we are successful, we'll be able to capture the exhaust directly. So
from the source, you mean from the exhaust pipe?
From the exhaust pipe, and it runs on a track. So
really,
it's one of those things that whether it was the STEEP grant we got or other federal grants, we always try to find additional ways of getting money into the community and funding some of these projects.
No, that's terrific, because these are our tax dollars we've already paid, and we want to get them back.
100%. Got to get them back if we can. So.
All right, so you want to go upstairs now,
Let's
sir?
go upstairs.
Okay, we're here still at the Indian Neck Open House Fire Station Fire Company number 9, This is called Station 2 now, right?
No, it's Station 9. We call it, but
okay.
whatever the engine is, that's what we call it. So Station 2 is MP Rice up on Main Street, the little red one.
Oh, yeah.
It's been there for 125 years now, I believe.
Yeah. So anyway, we just climbed the stairs, and we're upstairs here now in the Firehouse. And this is where our co-producer and cameraman, Henry Pond, actually worked as a volunteer years ago. So anyway, so he just came upstairs. He took a look at this beautiful facility, and he said, wow. So why don't you show us around, Chief?
Absolutely. So when we first were funded, there was some, we ran into some code issues with the ADA saying that we needed an elevator. And if we didn't have an elevator, we couldn't, we had to list the second floor as just storage, so it was one big open space. Mm-hmm. We since were able to get a modification and relief from the code, because as you know, if we needed an elevator, it would increase the cost by more than $100,000, and that would have been, at the time, if I remember correctly, we couldn't go over a dollar over $2 million, otherwise we were dead in the water, right? Yeah. So luckily we were able to get that modification. We were able to finish out the room. So when we did build it, it was one big open space, but the ceiling grid, the heating, the lighting, everything was designed for what we had hoped to do. Once we were able to get the okay to do it, we built it out, and we hired a local contractor to help us with the walls, but we're lucky to have two of our members who are certified and licensed electricians. They did a lot of the work here. Local resident Mark Steinberg had a campaign to raise funds. They were able to raise the funding for all of the kitchen appliances, the dishwasher, the stove, all of those various things. Stony Creek Granite donated the countertops.
They did.
And
they're beautiful.
our Smedley Crane and Massey's Glass worked together to be able to lift them up into the windows by providing a crane. So there was a real community effort, a real, and I know that I'm going to miss some of the people that donated and helped out and made a big difference, but it really was a community effort.
That's
so
great.
all of this up here was, the cabinets were donated, everything was, up here was based on that community effort. So what it consists of is this is the living area, the kitchen area. It's just an open floor plan. The couch is original to the volunteers that were here. They were left us the couch. They left us the tables
Where'd they go, Chief? Where'd the volunteers?
So the volunteers from this department, I think there was about 6 remaining.
Yeah.
Of course, Captain Mullen was close to retiring anyways, and he had made that decision where he was more of a support personnel than continuing to be an active member. But the remaining members were absorbed into Stony Creek and MP Rice and Short Beach.
Oh, good.
So we're doing our best to continue to support them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and again, this is another plug for volunteers. We're losing more than we get in the door every year, so we need to, continue the support. Because even if we do build and staff an East Station, we need to support these additional companies.
So if a person is watching this program and they're interested in joining the fire department as a volunteer, how do they make contact?
They can go to the town website, go navigate to the fire department page, and there's an application on that page, or they can stop at the firehouse on the main house on North Main Street, 45 North Main Street, and get applications there.
That's great, Chief. Okay, alrighty, so that's how you do it.
So other than the living area, the dining area, the kitchen, the officer, we have a captain who's the supervisor here.
Let's take a look.
Again, there's 4 captains assigned to the station. They each work a different shift.
Yeah.
And then their office is here, and their office not only consists of their workspace, but also their bunk. So that's this space here.
Okay, yep, I see. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, it looks great. The whole thing, from the top to the bottom,
Yep.
it came out great.
And then other than that, we unisex bathrooms because this is a co-ed firehouse.
Yep. Yep.
And then we'll make our way to the bunk room.
Okay. So if you're just joining this program, we're here at Branford Firehouse number 9, which is the one that was just rebuilt and just staffed 24/7 beginning in January in Indian Neck. And I'm with our chief of the last 10 years, Thomas Mahoney, and he's given us a tour upstairs. Oh yeah, there's the lockers. Beautiful.
So again, this is the bunk room, and because we're here 24/7, we don't want to work to the point of exhaustion. So you know, we don't necessarily get the same sleep that you might get in your own, your own bed at home. But
for sure, yeah.
We do get to, after business hours are done and dinner's over, and people can try to relax.
That's great.
The amount of emergency medical calls we do in this town, there's typically not, a rare night if you can get enough sleep to function the next day.
So anyway, so speaking of that, so if people call, for help, they call the number 911. So I mean, how do these people get told about the incident to respond?
Once the 911 call received, the dispatcher has enough information to know where and what type of call. Our computer-aided dispatch tells them which units to send to what call type. They will put a announcement out over the air. There's computer stuff that happens behind the scenes. It activates pagers and alerts that turn on lights and that kind of thing.
I see.
And one of the things that this station wasn't originally built with was that station alerting system to take that signal. So we have a makeshift station alerting right now.
Yeah, the RTM approved that.
But they approved it, yeah.
Yeah,
So we just met with our vendor the other day, and we're hoping very shortly to sign a contract.
Oh,
so,
that's great. That's great.
And then that the one at headquarters is 14 years old. It's no longer able to
you can't get the
service,
parts.
yeah. So we will handle both this station, and then eventually it would be the same system extended out in any future location.
Wow, that's great. Okay, Chief. Well, thanks a lot for being with us. You've done a wonderful job the last 10 years. This is a fantastic facility. As you said, it's reduced the response time here in Indian Neck and Pine Orchard for both fire and for medical. And it's not just on land. You also do all the work that, that's on the water as well. So thank you very much. This was a great open house that you held here. Everybody's happy. Everybody's working together, doing a great job.
Well, thank you so much, Frank, and I appreciate everything. I appreciate BCTV doing here, getting the word out for us, and letting other people who couldn't be here today see the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're honored to serve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. So thanks again for being with us. For Henry Pond, I'm Frank Tuhill. Until next time, goodbye.